What a day, YouTube. What a day. Oh, so I figured I could go through what's been going on today with ES and what I saw earlier today. And after, of course, you guys saw my morning vid, and it is 6:30 in the evening. It's not morning. And it also looks the same, most times. But anyway, let's do that relatively quickly here and see how things kind of played out for the day. Let's go make myself tiny. All right. So I'm going to maximize my 5 minute here. All of the slow and painful. That's definitely the case. All right. So we started off here this morning, and my first thoughts were they'd come in and take this liquidity, which they did. And then my next area of interest is actually all the way up here. And they came and got that nicely as well. But let's take a look at, this drudgery. So at 8:30, price just shot up and kept shooting up. And honestly, I had to agree. ICT was like, it's too choppy, you can't do anything. So when I looked over again at about 10, and then I'll go drop into the 1 minute here. I mean, obviously, they've solidified what they're thinking, right? And the other thing that I noticed, and let me put this up, was the SMT divergence, right? So at the very top of this thing was flat, but the bottom, once this happened, this guy was showing, the Nasdaq was showing higher prices. This is the divergence here, and S&P was showing the opposite, which, if I'm understanding what ICT is teaching, basically says this is a stop run on the S&P, and we should follow what the Nasdaq is saying with the divergence there. So that's literally all I was using it for. So, when this happened, I came in, I checked that, and then this was showing a higher high, and this is showing flat, so still giving us some indication, at least as far as I'm understanding it so far. I'm sure I'll get even better at this later, that prices were going to continue on up. So there is that. And I'm just going from what I annotated earlier. I haven't actually this is all during price doing its thing. So after all of this happened, and I looked over and and I had time, so I was thinking perhaps they might come back down here, but then I noticed the divergence. So this just looked like mean. I don't really see anything juicy. But then once it busted past this area and took that out, and then came back down and then gave us another break here, my thoughts were, and as you can see, I didn't get it. My thoughts were to take an entry from the top of this order block right here. It never came back down fully, so I wouldn't have gotten that in. Oh, kitty. So my second thought, though, as price was unfolding, was that they might come back and I could get an entry. Where am I on the 1 minute? Yeah. So I was looking at where was I? Why did I pick that? I was looking at this order block and I was thinking, price came back into it, and I wanted I waited for it to kind of dip in here and then come back out. And I was thinking maybe just a little bit inside of it. In this case, I wasn't looking at an order block per se. This one was right here. I was thinking maybe, it'll dip a little bit more into the imbalance and then take off, which it kind of did, right? But then I was being super conservative because that would have been 14 tick. If I was wrong for, what was this? 21 ticks, right? And I knew I could have aimed for the top of this, but I was trying to be conservative, like a tick or two over the 20. Starting to recognize that for whatever I want to make, I need to also add in the cost for the exchange and fees and blah blah blah, right? So like this is what I was thinking at the time when price was doing its thing here, but I left it there. Boom. So that's what I would have gotten. It would have taken um 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes or so to play out. Not bad. So my second one, similar scenario. This time I was looking at this order block, this order block over here. Sorry, I was looking at this guy as the order block that I was going to come into. And again, when price came back down, and I was thinking about this thing being support basically, and it tapped it and it kept going. So once it did that, I was like, all right, we're still going up, and I can aim for above here. So then price came down. It was blah 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 blah. And I was thinking, yeah, this is a good place. Drop it underneath this order block over here, which is why my thing is below that. And then just let it go. It was a slow slog. ICT was like, put in your notes, high resistance trade. It's like the soup. Look at this, man. This first one, nice. The second one, painful. And I mean, this is just simple break, retest, continuation, right? So this, all of these trades in my mind were okay. So this broke above it. I was expected to come back down, and maybe if I'd used this order block, nope, still wouldn't have got that one. You could also use the fair value gap, like the middle, and then at the bottom, and you would have gotten that entry. I'm still not good enough for that, right? So I'm just thinking like this, like this, like this, like this, break, retrace, break, and then I it was coming up on noon, so I wasn't. After this one, I was like, I need to stop right here. This is at 11:37, so I was like, noon, leave it alone. So what happened in the afternoon, right? So this is the lowest low before 1:30. Boom, boom. They never bothered to come back into it. I did draw a couple of things just to see. Like I thought this one, if they stayed in it, but they chose this one as they support, and this order block as the one to use, and then they just took out the buy side I was thinking about right here. And then, oh, I didn't draw this over. I didn't notice. There is the liquidity void that I was expecting them to come back up and take. And voila, they did, right? A void between where price actually like didn't equalize. I saw it on the daily, right? And so not bad. I mean, if I'd had time to think about it, then I, if I could do this full time for the day, I would have, because I was glancing over. It's like when it came down here and it didn't continue, I was thinking, all right, but it really gave me another opportunity to get back in, did it? No, not even here. Like if I was as soon as this forms tap, go, nice. But then we just took this out. We just got into the void. I would need something to give me more of a reason, and I didn't get it. Um, so I mean, in all honesty, this would have been my only two trades for the day. I do see like this imbalance right here became very nice support, and this would have been a nice area to take along from, back up to this thing. And honestly, if there's something over here to tap for, where did that long go? Right here? I mean, what would that look like? So let's say you're like, all right, you come back in the middle, drop it below it, and then do like a 1 to 5 or something. What's that anyway? 1 to 5. So like 25, really? Okay. On the 1 minute. Could have done that, taken your stuff. Is there anything else juicy on the right of this? Not in balance. Already been taken, I think. The tip of that would have been a nice place. 4073. Would we have had to wait? Yeah, we could have gotten 4073. Yeah, we could have gotten 4073 from here. And had that be our goal, and that would have taken us from this entry, hour 44. It's not the worst. I like a few minutes. This is nice. This is nice. I mean, 25 ticks. What's that? 6 handles, right? $300. Yeah, $300 in that move. So 500 in the morning, a little over actually, and then 800 for the day. Who makes that in a day? That's pretty boss. I mean, if I could make that every day, could I live? So $800 times 5, that's $4,000 a week. Working on the weekends times 4 weeks, that's 16,000 minus taxes that you're gonna have to pay on top of that, because you're gonna have to pay some taxes. In any case, this is all based on the bias, right? And even let's take a look at the divergence there, or see if there even is one, right? So this is saying we're going up. Is a similar space saying we're going up? Yep. So everybody's in agreement. Everybody's going in the same direction. When they came back over here, what did that look like? Let's see. All right, no real divergence there, so looking good. All right, but I like that. I like that I can just look at price of something else and have some ideas to what could or could not transpire with it. And if we think about the way these are working, right? So we've gotten price came down, made relatively equal lows, right? So then it ate it. Turtle soup, right? Turtle soupity soup. So then once it ate that, and then it broke this short-term high, this higher high, and then came back down, could have been a buyer right here. So these are the things that like slowly, very, very slowly, because I mean, I'm still learning, right? And then put my stop loss below that, and then we're aiming for above this thing, like a couple of ticks above that thing, right? All right. What's that? 33. Boom. Done and dusted. Nice. So, that's that structure we were looking for this morning already, right? And then we have what is relatively equal high, so we're gonna take them out, right? Do we see that again? I think we see the opposite over here. Like it dropped, came back up, couldn't break it. So then we had a breaker block. Oh my goodness. And if you have time to really look, then you had a breaker block right here. So once price did this, then you could be looking for an entry at the breaker. Oh man, look at that. Look at that. I mean, there's a breaker right there. Do you see that? These things, let's zoom in on that puppy, man. This breaker right here formed, and this is on the 1 minute, right? Formed from this structure. Look at that. It took this out, couldn't break below, and then from the breaker, you could have had an entry. Right there. And then it took out this to make a proper shift. Boom. Now you could have been a buyer inside of this breaker. Not to mention, now we have freaking a fair value gap in that space as well. Breaker, fair value gap. I mean, and then here's an order block too. for the breaker, for this, new structure that you could have ordered right there. Nice. Nice. I mean, with practice, man, with practice. Like, look at this guy. Like, they made the short-term high, they ate it, right? So what are we looking at? Another turtle soup here? Could have gone short. Maybe. Did they give us an opportunity for that? Not really. At least not that I can see on this one. I mean, they made this guy, and but I mean, on a day that it's long, like why would you go against the trend, right? And then here's another scenario. Did they give us an opportunity? So drop, higher, continuation up. Did they give us an opportunity for an entry? Well, breaker again. Breaker block right there. Multiple times actually. Was it beautiful? Not particularly. Would it get stopped out? Could we have gotten 5 handles? Let's say we got into this breaker right here. And I just want 20. Could I have gotten 20? Ooh, that's a no good, buddy. Would have gotten close. And then it would have fallen off. It would have been stopped out. What time was this anyway? 3 o'clock? So probably a good idea to wait until 3 o'clock and see what happens, right? So 3 o'clock, 3:06, 3:04, dropped. And then what did we do? We took out this sell side right here and then turned right around and then just kept it on going. If I was a better, if I was a, if I was there yet, which I'm not, could have bought on this, right? Could have bought on this quarter block, could have bought on this, on this, on that. But all in good time. So interesting. So one last quick gander here. Let's drop out to the daily just to reaffirm what we already sort of knew for the day. Whoops. I made that. Let's come over here. Okay. So when we came out on the daily, they've taken this wick out. Beautiful. They still haven't hit consequent encroachment on this rejection block. So we're still heading towards it. And, if we think about like, if there was a shift in structure, and we shift it again. So if we break this, then we're going to continue up properly. Right now, we're doing a little mini consolidating in this space, making up our minds. I still feel like about halfway through this wick that I'm learning is consequent encroachment, which is around 41.22 and 3/4. Could be like, if they're continuing up, that would be where I would be expecting them to go to. 22, right there. And let's add that consequent encroachment right there. Boom. So that's what I'm expecting as they continue to decide what they want to do with their lives. There's also these wicks right here to contend with. So we'll see what they do. All right. Well, I think that's about it for now. I gotta go do some more ICT vids and some more practice, but I think it's good to review what my thoughts were during the markets and whether I would have gotten that fill, whether I got it or stopped out because I'm learning that I'm not moving things, once I've determined what my process is and I'm in. That's it. Win or lose. The only time I'm moving my stop loss is, if it's hit a certain level, and I put it into at least break even so I can handle fees and stuff if I do get stopped out. And then, I'm slowly learning how to kind of read where price is going to be and be more patient because man, that patience thing is for real. Like that is like a big, 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 huge, humongous deal. Huge, humongous, you know? And when I say patience, I mean I'm looking at scenarios like this where I would have just been like, oh well, it's coming back into this imbalance. That's this fair value gap that's it's using as support, like real support, right? And then um if I didn't know anything about the smart money techniques right here and checking to see what's happening, I could have just been like, oh well, it's coming down here and just buy. Just buy, 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 right? But no, I realized, well, it's gonna come down. It's probably going to eat something. It's going to bounce around in this space again, right? And then once it gives me a proper, break, then I can buy based off of the order block and then set my stop loss below that. And that reduces my risk and how many ticks. Before, I would just been like, well, okay, let's buy. Like one of my worst trades on ETH was like that. I was like, oh, it's just gonna come down here, and it was just falling, just one red candle, just and I'm all like, yeah, limit order, limit order. Ordered, stopped out, same time. So these scenarios where I get to think through what's happening, like here we have a break, right? I got my fill, I got my monies, I'm out. And, wait for the order block to come in. Once price comes down and we're still playing in this general vicinity and we've again confirmed its support, then get in here, and then do this. So much patience. So much patience. Like this one, I'm not running it down. If I get my order, I get my order. But this one I got because there's a proper shift and it came back into an order block, the general vicinity of an order block, and I got my fill. This one was even more on point. And this was hypothetical. This is after the fact, but these two are the ones I actually like put in. So one day, I'll be better. I'll be good. And then this divergence helped me figure out, yeah, we're still gonna go up. And this is all messy and gross. Like, I mean, look at all this wicking up, down, up, down. This is where you don't want to be trading, right? Like I want more consistent, even if this is still soupy. And this is beautiful. Like this is a beautiful short little quick hit that was nice. This was just mean and soupy and gross. Honestly, while this was printing, I thought I was going to get stopped out. I mean, I wasn't even in a trade, but my idea, my setup would get stopped out. It didn't. I got what I wanted, but it's crazy. It's crazy, man. And then they came back down again, and it's gross. So like I have to sear these things into my mind to remember this. These are the things, these are the moments of cray cray that I need to avoid, you know? Like look at this. Beautiful equal lows right here. I'm expecting them to come back in and take that out eventually. And then like we had this fair value gap from early in the morning, and we thought perhaps it would turn into support or into resistance. It did the opposite. It turned itself into support and then it flew away. And, once that happened, I guess I should draw this out. It was still there. And then it flew away. And then all the soupiness. It's just not clean, It's not clean. It's not clean. And as a newbie, I would have gotten hosed in all of this. Just complete and total hosing. Complete. Because look, we have this, and then and then another one, and then, oh, come on, man. What do we got? Just buy side, sell side, just eating everywhere. It's only until they finally broke out of this space, finally, that I could see potential trades coming in. But anyway, can't believe I've already been talking for 25 minutes. Want this to be a short one. I guess it is short. I hope you guys were safe today trading. I am having a day. Well, hopefully it'll get better. I'm gonna go find some dinner. It's about that time and try to get a good night's rest and come back early in the morning to start this all over again. Be safe. Drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I just love that I'm slowly, if I had time to really focus on it day in, day out, like during the day, it would be easier for me to start to see these patterns. But over time, we'll get it over time. It's gonna happen. All right, well, have a good one. Shakira, out.